Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running low. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running low. Keep running Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous.
.2 points to clear, so it's really good. as we see Gold and Silver come back with the Corki mid. So it looks like it's going to be Victor into Corki. Very kind of neutral lane. You're not going to see a lot of aggression. They're probably both going to take TP. They're both going to, start with pretty safe runes. And Corki's just going to kind of look to impact the map on his package. And Victor's just going to try to look to match that with his TP, most likely.
I totally agree with that. And it's very interesting because we had considered that, Apes Together Strong, they played a ton of Diana in their games, but that was with Hefe 310, who I don't believe is playing today. So it's very interesting that they've gone and they've made the selection for this Diana. I'm sorry, that's with Gold and Silver. I apologize. It's just still surprising that they ended up taking the Diana in the jungle. It looks like that's very, very interesting. Meanwhile, Gold and Silver, they did take away that Jarvan. Did expect that wholeheartedly, as there was a lot of Jarvan that was being played. So, very interesting stuff and a very wise jungle pick, in my opinion.
And looking at both drafts, I mean, Gold and Silver kind of has the classic Narvin combo that we used to see back in like season 8 and season 9, where Jarvan would EQ in, get the ulti, and then Gnar would ulti them against Jarvan's wall, his Cataclysm, right?
Mm-hmm.
This comp looks really good execution wise on Gold and Silver side. You have a lot of dive. You have Kai'Sa and Corki being able to go both dive the backline on Jarvan's engages. And Braum is there just for laning phase, just to block some stuff, and he can really peel back if he needs to with his ultimate. Gold and Silver has a really, looks like to be, in my opinion, an easy to execute comp. While on Apes Together Strong side, they have the Ornn, very stable top laner, somebody that's going to do his job, become a tank, and give you ornaments. But really, these gank paths and how you're going to gank with this Diana is really going to be interesting, right? Because you honestly only need the QWE, kind of like how Jarvan, ideally doesn't go for the full clear. He gets his QE. Sometimes he'll level 2 gank or he'll go for the QWE. So both of these junglers are going to look to try to gank a lane right after probably their 3 buffs or their 3 camps, right? They'll probably go like Raptors, red buff, or they'll go full clear one side, hit level 3, or full clear the other side, hit level 3, and look to gank a lane around 3 minutes. The crab fight is going to be really interesting on both of these sides. We're going to see which mid lane has prio and which bot lane or top lane can have prio. What's your thoughts on the bot lane matchup?
My thoughts on the bot lane matchup, I'm actually very glad you asked. I think that this matchup is not going to be your stereotypical 2v2 that we're going to see. I'm expecting a lot of roaming coming out from I Love Canada, and I think because Diana does tend to struggle, she doesn't have any built-in CC in her kit, at least until she gets her ultimate. So, the onus is going to be on the Thresh to be able to move around the map and really make plays happen, because the Kai'Sa Braum lane is not necessarily going to be a lane where they're going to be able to make a lot of plays. I really find that they're going to struggle when it comes to trying to get 2v2 kills or anything like that. I just don't think it's really in the cards for them. So I do think that it's going to be, mostly just farming up from Even Steven, I Love Canada, trying to make hay on big roams to provide the CC for the Diana to enable the jungle ganks.
Mm-hmm. So, quick last question before we head into an intermission, before we get into the game. Who do you think has the draft edge? Gun to your head, who are you going to say?
Oh, man. I just think that... Oh, man, this is such a tough one. I definitely think that the damage is for Apes Together Strong. I think they've got the damage. They've got the triple threat comp. You've got the Vayne, you've got the Victor, you've got the Diana. The problem is the Victor and the Vayne, they're going to need to scale up a little bit. And on the other side, Gold and Silver, they also have a very similar comp where the Corki and the Kai'Sa are going to need to scale up a little bit. However, Corki and Kai'Sa, I believe, have very good early damage, and you've got a jungler on Gold and Silver who can provide early ganks, whereas me, Bush Boy, is going to have trouble with the early ganks because of the lack of CC, as I stated before. So I think that Corki and Kai'Sa have just enough early game damage to allow Gold and Silver to have a stronger early game than Apes Together Strong, and if they're able to execute on it, I think they can win the game. Overall, if the game's going 45 minutes, I'm going to go with Apes Together Strong. But if the game's going to end early, I think it's going to be Gold and Silver.
I think that's a fair assessment, and I completely agree with that. We're going to go into a short intermission before we load back into the game. We're just getting that spectator delay. Catch us right back and tune in. It's going to be an exciting game.
We'll see you soon. You don't want to miss it.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere, I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Running low, keep running. I'm running low, keep running. Like an outlaw on the run. Dangerous, but it's so fun. Running low, keep running. I'm running low, keep running. Like an outlaw on the run. Dangerous, but it's so fun. Run, run, run. Dangerous, dangerous. Run, run, run. Dangerous, dangerous. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Running low, keep running. I'm running low, keep running.
Everybody to the Ryzen League pre-made unstoppable week 4 Apes Together Strong versus Gold and Silver game. This is a best of 3 as we see Gold and Silver come out to a looks like a cheeky invade. They might be going for some vision as we see Apes Together Strong go with the standard 5-point defense. Braum with the strong level 1, as we know, right, Yanni?
Oh, absolutely. And it looks like they are going to try to make a move. They were spotted out by Even Stevens, so looks like everything's going to be all good there for the side of Apes Together Strong. As I stated before, I do think that the early game is definitely in favor of Gold and Silver. They're on your red side, just in case you didn't know. So here are our lineups. If you missed them, it's Sneaky Mouse on the Ornn in the top lane, me Bush Boy, and Diana in the jungles. It looks like Gold and Silver. They're making their way up, and they're gonna meet some members here of Team Apes Together Strong. It looks like they're going to attempt to cut off the Victor, and now the Ornn, they're in a precarious position. That Q is going to land. The flash is going to be used there by the Ornn, and over the wall goes Corki. It looks like he's going to get the stun onto Strong. Strong has been stunned up. There's the Q. Kung Fu Dugong is now getting in the party, and Strong is taken very low. It could just be one more auto attack, and it is. It's first blood over to Zeki.
And this is just a super bad mistake on Apes Together Strong side, right? There is no way that you should be really in this guy's jungle. There's no way you should be in, a Braum Kai'Sa jungle, right? You're not gonna win that 5v5. You're not gonna win the 4v4. You may even lose the 4v3 just because of how strong it is. As we see Jarvan starting on the red buff, and we see Diana and Jarvan both starting on the same side. So this is going to be interesting. They're both most likely going to meet at the bottom crab if they're efficient with their pathing. That first kill going off to Kai'Sa, really beneficial to her. It's going to get her to her noon quiver really soon. She'll be able to back, about, 1 or 2 waves before she really needs to get that noon quiver. So she can shove this Vayne in, get her under turret, and come back with a free recall.
Well, there is definitely a problem, is now even Steven and I Love Canada have a huge advantage in the lane. They're going to hit level 2 first.
They are, and they have the summoner spell advantage. But so we'll see what even Steven can do. These laning phase. I say time and time again, it's not on the ADC, it's on the supports, right? They dictate what happens in the laning phase. They dictate who wins, right? So we'll see if this stretch can land the hooks, can land everything that needs to be done. But it looks like, Gold and Silver are kind of content on just farming up and getting to the Noon Quiver as soon as possible and getting the item advantage over Vayne.
Right. I do think though it is because I Love Canada is now just hit level 2, so I'm interested to see him kind of like try to cut the lane in half. When you play Thresh, the positioning is super important because you can cut off half of the entire area that the other team has to be able to move around. As we see some trades up in the top lane, Sneaky Mouse getting the better of Dingo there, but again, it's going to be really, really big for I Love Canada to try to land some of these hooks. Even Steven getting some great poke down there.
And you see Jarvan going down bot.
Oh, yeah. There is a potential gank in the mid lane. Me Bish Boy will dash in, but Bambi Unleashed is going to be able to get out of there without many issues, putting down some return auto attacks onto Me Bush Boy. It's not too bad. It's all things considered. Meanwhile, a fight over the Skullet Crab. I Love Canada is going to land a pretty big hook onto Kung Fu Dugong. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to get condemned, but he queued up the Flag and Drag, and it looks like he might be able to get out of there. Me Bush Boy there flashes forward, lands the Crescent Strike, and gets the kill. Great stuff there from the side of Team Apes Together Strong as they proved their namesake there. As 3 members, they were a little bit too much to handle.
Yeah, and we saw what this was going to happen, right? And we saw that, whoever got the priority on bot lane was going to be able to contest this crap. As actually, we see some more trading in the top lane. Just a little bit. Gnar going into this form.
Trading. He is going to go Mega in a moment, but it looks like he won't be able to do too much here. In the bottom lane, some standard trading going on. Even Steven has a little bit less HP than Zeki, but some pings are going out. It looks like Digno is heading from the top side down to the jungle, potentially trying to catch Me Bush Boy and Strong in a poor position here. But now Bambi Unleashed is the one who's in a bad spot. The smite goes down. Me Bush Boy is going to get that. He's going to hop onto Dingo. Me Bush Boy is taking some heavy auto attacks. The Flag and Drag was not there as he gets stunned up. Kung Fu Dugong is the one to go down, and Dingo is going to have to flash over the wall. So it is a 1-for-0. I Love Canada moving up, lands a pretty nice hook. As here in the bot lane, we got some crazy things going on. Big play. Heal burned by Zeki. One auto will be enough. Even Steven gets the kill. And that will be it for this. Oh no, Me Bush Boy. There's so much fighting going on. Please stop. I want to talk about I want to stop talking about the fights.
It looks like a dive is coming up. The TP is coming in from Corki.
Yeah, Bambi Unleashed is going to show up to the top lane, and Kung Fu Dugong also in hot pursuit of Me Bush Boy, who has to run away desperately. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we still have Even Steven and I Love Canada. Looks like they're trying to clear out this wave before they get a full back, and a little greedy for the CS. Couldn't get that last one, but we'll take the Dark Passage out, and that's some pretty good stuff. Vayne's up 16 CS, has evened themselves up in kills. That's really what you like to see after the really poor start.
And after such a good start from Gold and Silver, they just kind of throw it away a little bit. They're trying to get in these little skirmishes. They're trying to get in these little scuffles. They're trying to fight around, and they have no prio in any of these lanes, right? Jarvan really doesn't want to get double crabbed, is not content with giving up that second crab, doesn't understand that, Victor can move first. Ornn has the ability to move first, and he can just, he really should have just been farming his jungle. It's a very solo queue-esque move. Unfortunate move on Gold and Silver's part, but now we're just going to see Jarvan's 2 kills behind. He's going to be farming his jungle. He won't be able to get any ganks off, because now when he shows up to any of these lanes, if Diana is there, the mid 2v2, the top 2v2, it's done. They don't win that, right? They don't win that anymore, because Diana's going to have item advantage when she goes back. She hasn't backed yet, actually. She's sitting on about 1,600 gold, which is quite a lot. I'm going to be interesting what they rush. If she goes like Night Harvester, if she goes for the Proto Bell, if she goes for Ludens, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, getting this Diana ahead, it's one of her main problems in the jungle, right? It's really getting her ahead, getting her to her item breakpoints, because her 1-2 items are very expensive and it's very damage based. Where if you're playing like a tank like Udyr or Mundo, getting that chem tank is, really, it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot more effective at staying tanky and being more of a nuisance, because we know in this season that tanks do a lot of damage.
It feels like that every season. League of Tanks always ends up ringing true. As it looks like Strong might be in a pretty bad spot. The pings have gone out. Nothing too much doing there. I Love Canada looking to move forward, maybe harass the Corki, but Corki is able to clear out the ward, and there will be no further issues in the jungle.
And now we just kind of get back to like a standard laning phase. No more action. Nobody's
Here comes the Jarvan. Nope, he's going to peel off.
He's got to clear
Really,
these words.
yeah, he's got to get these words cleared out. He's got to CS some more. He's a level down. It's just really, really rough sledding so far for Kung Fu Dugong. You're on this champion that can gank so much, and really, the fruits of your labor, you haven't done anything since you dropped the Demacian standard at level 1 and did a little
Yeah.
bit of damage to Strong.
And this
So,
is what we highlighted, right?
yeah,
Banning 5 jungle champions hurts your own jungle pool as well. The idea is that you should maybe ban 3 and then
the
trade the
Diana. Here it comes the call. The Forge God will knock up this Gnar, and this Gnar is very tiny, very squishy, and very dead, as that'll be the 4th kill for Team ATS. This is the 2nd one onto the Diana, and things are going from bad to worse for Team Gold and Silver.
Yeah, and getting this Ornn ahead, it's it may not be the most impactful thing, but denying this Gnar so many ways. And now Ornn's gonna have the TP advantage. So now he can TP to drag. Now he can TP down to bot lane if in case a fight happens. And what does Gnar do? He's just gotta sit there, throw his boomerang as they trade up.
Trying to take this fight, and I don't think it's going to go too well for him. Billows Breath dealing so much damage, the seismic charge as well. Here comes the Diana, is going to land the Crescent Strike, another one. They are just farming this Gnar. Take me back to 2010's Facebook. They're playing Farmville up there.
Gank me once, shame on you. Gank me twice, shame on me. And that's really what it is. Like this guy has no flash, taking the trade. Doesn't understand that Diana and Ornn can just dive him. He's not mega. He's not even close. His rage bar isn't high. As we see the package going in.
Package used onto Strong. Strong will flash over the wall, but here is the second. Oh no! Oh, never mind. Kung Fu Dugong gonna flash forward.
Kill secured.
Lansom get the kill. Big stuff there. It's a really good job by the Corki. The package came through and then used the second activation of the W as well to get some more damage in. But now we're going to see a big team fight. Flash hook landed. Down goes Kung Fu Dugong. Afro Samurai is going to get a 4-man knockup, but he doesn't have any teammates to help him out. He's going to put up the shield, but it will not matter. That'll be another kill over to the side of Apes Together Strong, and they are going to get the first dragon of the game. It's an Infernal Drake.
Literally,
a little extra
and we
damage.
literally saw the TP advantage come into play right there. What is Gnar doing? Does he even get a play? And Victor rotating top now to catch the wave, so Gnar doesn't get anything. Gnar got nothing.
TP there. Like Victor is going to head to the top lane and still have his TP to be able to make a play.
Yeah, really, really good stuff on Ape Together Strong side, right? We highlighted that, they may not be a strong team because a couple of their wins were forfeit matches. But I mean, right now they're looking as if they made the team forfeit. They're just that good, right?
The Apes are indeed together, and another beautiful hook from I Love Canada, interrupting the flag and drag. Zeki has joined the fray. He's going to flash over the wall. Now Bambi Unleashed is also here. Is going to get a big kill onto I Love Canada. Flash forward. Going to get the slow onto Even Steven. Even Steven's going to have to flash out. And meanwhile, in the top lane, Sneaky Mouse and Digno are trading back and forth as it looks like Even Steven did get out of there without an issue, but it's more kills. This time, though, Gold and Silver, they got the better of that trade. They did get a big shutdown onto Diana.
Yeah, they did really get a big shutdown. Vayne did have to burn Flash, so now, there's a bit of a summoner spell advantage. What we don't realize is that Jarvan can just EQ combo this Vayne now, and there's a lot of damage follow-up, right? If Kai'Sa falls in, if Gnar can get the combo. So I wouldn't count Gold and Silver out yet. It's only a 2.5 gold lead right now, but this in this sort of league, it's not pro play where 2.5k is the end of everything, right? If the right people get the kill, if the right people get the shutdown, and the team fight happens, and you stack your CC, Gold and Silver can still win a team fight.
Here we go. Call the Forge God going out. He is going to flag and drag at a perfect time to knock up Sneaky Mouse, interrupt the ultimate, and that kill is going to go over to Digno. Great stuff there from Kung Fu Dugong. A rough start, as we were talking about, but is, however, beginning to bring it back.
How do you like the Nashor's Tooth on Diana? You think that's good for the clear speed? I think it's good for the damage and clear speed. I really like the Nashor's build on her, actually. So it forgoes the mythic first item and just kind of builds into this. It's a very strong spike, right? It's a very strong spike.
I like it, but I don't think it was the best first item because there's a lot more fighting going on than clearing. And I think there might have been better items that are more suited to this early game brawling that we're seeing. However,
how many autos?
I really think it's a great item. I do think it's a great item on Diana. Otherwise, though, maybe I think it would have been a great second item in this scenario. But I mean, when you get your first item at 11 minutes into the game, you can't really complain too much.
Yeah, and honestly, Apes together strong, kind of blundering a bit these past two fights. I mean, Gold and Silver just looking to claw their way back, looking for opportunistic ganks as we see a dive being postured or just the Rift Herald. Kind of inefficient on the
Nope,
usage.
definitely a dive,
Mm.
as Digno had to get out of there quick, and I Love Canada was there. It looks like they went in a little bit too early and didn't give time for I Love Canada to get there, but the Jarvan is going to have to drop the ultimate to make sure his Gnar can live. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Strong gets hit by the squad, 3 members of Gold and Silver. A hook
Oh,
landed there,
man.
and that is another kill there.
Has this guy
Seeking
missed? Is
out
Threshold
King
Mania in town? Is it Sunday, Sunday, Sunday? Oh my God, this
I
guy
mean,
is
you-
on point.
You can't say that. He did miss one in the last fight when the Jarvan went in. Bushboy
That
did
was
have to run
zoning.
the stopwatch. The
Zoning
zoning.
hook.
Zoning.
Zoning
All
hook.
right. Got it. Got it.
But I mean, this Thresh is really
he's played
impacting the map. He's playing
He's played
insane right now.
Yeah, and he's been
Um,
throwing his hooks at really great times as well. Usually there to interrupt CCs. We see a teleport coming down, and Bambi Unleashed is all over Even Steven with a little help from his friends. They're going to get a big shutdown onto Even Steven. That one is going to go the way of Bambi Unleashed.
And
And,
such a big
More
package.
gold.
Yeah, just more gold into the right people. Right now we see Kaisa and Corki 203, 312. These are some of their strongest members. If these guys start shredding you, if Corki gets his Essence, or he gets his Triforcer, he goes Divine Sunder, he gets these 2-3 items, he is going to shred your team. I don't care if you have an Ornn on your front line, he will shred it. Right? He has the armor shut on his E. Kaisa has the passive, has the Q. I mean, this Ornn looks tanky, may feel tanky, but I mean, these guys got items, and I think it's very detrimental. Would have loved to see the
Oof.
Kraken Slayer on Kaisa. Not sure how I feel about the Gale Force, unless she's going to be really looking for these 1v1s onto maybe Victor or Diana or even Vayne, looking to match them in the side lane. I think the Kraken Slayer provides just a little bit more utility in terms of percent health and just shredding through Ornn, but overall, not a super bad choice. I think Gale Force is fine.
Great hook, landed on the Corgi. They're going to take it. He's going to have to Valkyrie out. The box is down, but I Love Canada in a very compromising position. Dingo is going to hop on top of him, but a big flash from I Love Canada.
Meganar.
Here comes the Dingo. He goes Mega, but he pushes Bushboy into the rest of his team. Call the Forge God is only going to hit one because it gets blocked, and now here comes the Jarvan. Kills are going everywhere, but the fight is going the way of Apes Together Strong. 2 kills for Even Steven, and the Dragon will be their prize. It is a 4-for-1 in favor of Apes Together Strong, and I bet that they wish it was 20 minutes in so they could take a Baron. But they might have to settle for the mid-turn.
And we saw some of the struggles of what Gnar does. How does he get in, right? All Apes Together Strong had to do was, click back. That's the counter to Gnar.
Yeah.
Click away, and you're fine, right? Even he got a one-man ult. He pulled Diana into the team.
Yeah, it was
And
the
Diana
worst
just
person to
ulted.
pull. Is the worst person to pull. And the
Yeah.
biggest problem there was the fact that he goes Mega and he's at Pixel Brush. The rest of the team is not even close, and he doesn't even have an opportunity to try to push them into the wall near the entrance to the bottom blue side jungle. So even if you hit anybody, they're not getting stunned up.
Yeah, and we're seeing the execution on
Oh.
as
Kung Fu Dugong is here. Could not get the flag and drag though.
oh,
This-
that special. Is that special?
I love Canada. I love this guy. He is insane. He is getting auto attack down very, very low. He's super low. He lands the hook. He's going to get the kill onto I Love Canada. Digno is going to take up the turn a little
Beautiful
bit.
stopwatch. Beautiful stopwatch.
A big knockup. And that is going to be 2 kills for Sneaky Mouse. That turret was a little too hot, and Kung Fu Dugong couldn't take the heat.
Yeah, it was well executed, right? As well played as they possibly could. Thresh landing the hook, flaying the dragon, flag and drag, and Ornn just being in there, doing the percent health, getting the stun off, keeping them as, tantalizing him. Like, look, I'm low health. Oh, psych, I got a stopwatch, and you're dead,
Yeah.
right?
Like, hey guys, free real estate.
Yeah, free real estate. I mean, it's honestly,
it was not free real estate.
it's back and forth, but it looks like ATS is kind of just getting the better of it, right? It's maybe a 1-for-1. It looks good for Gold and Silver, and then it becomes a 1-for-2. Then it becomes a 1-for-3, and it's like, wait a minute, guys, can we stop fighting? Wait a minute, Kaisa and Corki aren't there. It's a 1-7 Jarvan and a 2-5 Gnar. I don't know how much damage you guys got there.
Yeah, and I mean, you take a look at it. Remember when it was a 2.5k gold lead? It's now swelled up so much higher as I Love Canada. Looks like he might be a little bit caught out, but the rest of the team is there. Kung Fu Dugong gets killed by the hook. The Call of Forge God is out. It's not going to land on anybody except for the Corki, who is off to relative safety. But another 2 for 0 in favor of Apes Together Strong. They take out the jungler. They take out the support. There's not really too much that Gold and Silver can do right now.
There's no such thing as a little bit of caught out when I Love Canada's on Thresh. You're caught out. Plain and simple. This man is going for your jugular. Oh, and zoning hook right there.
No. I see what he tried to do there. He tried to predict the juke of the Kaisa, and it did not work out. That's one of those hooks that you throw that if it lands, you look like a genius, like otherworldly, and if it misses, it looks like a zoning hook.
It's a multi-dimensional, multiverse hook. It was gonna grab somebody in a different game in a different pro series right now. That's how good that hook is.
Yeah, that's what we call the Doctor Strange hook.
That's the Doctor Strange hook. I definitely guarantee that. As we see them going for the second Rift Herald, super strong here, right? If ATS win another big team fight, this Rift Herald could be inhibitor. It could be the end of the game, possibly, right? If another 5v5 wipe comes out.
Absolutely, but really, do you want to take down an inhibitor this early? Especially with the fact that Team Gold and Silver, they do scale decently enough. Like, sure, Apes Together Strong also scale incredibly well, but wouldn't you rather, try to prevent them from scaling a little bit more while you have such a big lead? I'm interested to see if they're going to do that. They might want to send somebody bot lane, sit on the Herald a little bit, send them bot lane, drop the Heralds, and then, potentially force a Baron play.
And that's
spawning very shortly. About a minute.
Oh!
That's an interesting Valkyrie.
That's a
very interesting package. Yep.
That's a statement. That's to say, I'm here, I'm proud. I'm gonna try to burn you, and that's it. It's about sending a message, Yanni. It's not about doing damage. It's not about getting the flank.
That package was so busted it looked like UPS delivered it.
No, yeah.
Like that's not what you want to see. I mean, maybe it was expiring and he just did it to do it, but like there's no worlds where you package into the opposing team's jungle when you're down 9k gold. Like that is a no-no.
Maybe they don't feel like they're down 9k, right?
If they don't feel like it, I have fearful prospects for their team's macro ability. If they don't know they're down 9k at this point in the game, or at least feel like it.
I mean, maybe they feel like they got the kills on the right carries, and it's like, guys, we can peel it. As long as Corki and Kaisa stay alive, right? And then it goes to, as long as Kaisa can stay alive, guys, as long as we can maybe stall it to 40 minutes, that's the sort of,
pick play on. They're going to try to put a pick play onto me Bush Boy. Here comes the Valkyrie over the wall. Now, there is the Rift Herald out. Me Bush Boy is going to go into 3 members of the team. Does get knocked up, but does so much damage to everybody else. It looks like even Steven's going to be able to clean up the fight. And now Dingo on the back line. He's got to deal with Strong and Steaky Mouse. Here comes the call of the Forge God. It is out. It's going to land on 3 members, but even Steven chasing them down, picking up a triple kill. The Fateful Hour is too strong as you get so much mobility out of that, and that will be an ace. It's another 4 for 1. They're content to sacrifice me, Bush Boy, for the greater good, and I do think they're pushing for this inhibitor, and they're not going to. Never mind.
Just like even Steven was gone too soon, man, Gold and Silver looks like they're going to be gone in a little bit. I think it's going to be a closeout. They're going to go for this dragon. They're going to pick up the 3rd dragon. They're going to pick up this Baron, reset after the dragon, and just this textbook closeout. Really good stuff from Apes Together Strong. Really strong showing, right? Really strong game 1.
Aggressive teleports, Bambi Unleashed and Dingo, they are here. They do want to get this dragon, prevent the soul point. Here comes Victor trying to zone him off. You're going to do a lot of damage to Dingo. Dingo fails to hop over the wall and will be the first to fall. And there is a big flay. How about the knockup, though? Kung Fu Dugong, he's not strong enough. He goes down. The fight, they got pincered. Me, Bush Boy, comes from the other end, and they absolutely wipe Gold and Silver. They're pinging the Baron. Pretty sure they could just win the game, but they're going to go for the Baron.
And what ATS did there is a category that I can't say on this stream, but something happened to Gold and Silver, and I think we know what we're talking about. That was one here, one way there from all different angles, and it was a really good fight on ATS's side, really good flanks. And now they're going for the Baron.
Yeah, and if you're Gold and Silver at this point, what can you really do? I do think it was a bit of a mistake as early on the Jarvan did struggle and opted to go for the Gore Drinker. I understand, the line of thinking behind that because, Gore Drinker's a great item, especially on a melee champion like Jarvan, but like you need to be tanky because you fell behind so far so early into the game that I think that Kung Fu Dugong, it might have benefited them more if they just leaned into the full tank as opposed to going with the Gore Drinker first for the sustain.
Well, maybe the
It's
call
hard to
here.
sustain when you get blown up so quickly.
Well, maybe the call here on Gold and Silver is like, hey, it doesn't matter to go tanky here because you're so far behind. You just need to be able to blow up somebody as soon as possible if they get a pick, right? They need to EQR, and maybe that's like a cool 500-600 damage depending on how much he gets with the auto. And they're looking to blow somebody up. And Jarvan can't really do that if he goes like, maybe a Chem Tank or a Sunfire Aegis as that hook goes wide. But I mean, he forces the flash off of Braum.
That was a hook aimed at Zeki, but Zeki had wisely backed off to avoid that. Afro Samurai, though, he's got no flash. He does have some teammates. Here comes the call of the Forge God, looking to knock up the Soul member. They knock up Zeki. He goes down. Digno has to run. He's gone mega, but he is going to die as he will fall. Me Bush Boy is now working on the inhibitor. It looks like they're probably going to escort the bottom wave in. The
Looks like he's trying to open the gates. He's trying to open the gates, guys.
The Soul Survivor, Bambi Unleashed. I don't know if there's much you can do. Afro Samurai up in 5 seconds. The entire squad's here. I'm kind of surprised they didn't bring the wave back, give it a little extra movement speed. It's really what they should be doing, but it appears they know that they've won the game at this point. So they're now working on the turrets. Here comes a big package coming through. Tries the Valkyrie, but you only did half HP to even Steven 93. That is all she wrote for Bambi Unleashed. Not too much you could do at this point in the game.
Yeah, and just like a lot of people are all talk, no show with their packages, that Corki's all talk, no show with that package. Nothing really to see there. Nothing, can't really do anything. Trying to clear the wave, dies for it. What do you see? What do you see here? What can Gold and Silver take away from this as the game is ending?
Well, it's hard to say what they could take away from this. Probably a loss. They're just getting absolutely ripped apart in their fountain by Team Apes Together Strong. Although they will pay for their mistake, a big shutdown onto the Thresh as he knocked him into the fountain. But that is all she wrote. Apes Together Strong getting a huge win over Team Gold and Silver. You talked about what you could take away from a game like that, and in all honesty, there is.
You just go next. Redo the draft.
Yeah, just kind of. Yeah, it has to be a go next, right? Like, there is nothing that you can take away from an absolute drubbing like that. I think that they may have baited Kung Fu Dugong into going into Jarvan, and he might need to pick a better champion, or they're going to need to pick champions that are a little bit better in the early game if they want to do all this brawling. Because there was just some really imposing champions on the other side for Team Apes Together Strong, and they got so far ahead. I mean, even after they gave away first blood and they still just crushed the game, there's really not all too much you can do about that. I'm interested to see what your thoughts are and what you think the team should be able to do in game 2.
Well, I think that what they really need to take away is that they can't target ban Bush Boy, right? This guy's got a really deep champion pool. They're not going to be able to really put him on anything that he's uncomfortable with. He clearly looks comfortable under Diana, right? He clearly looks like he can pilot the champion, get the engages in, get the ganks off. So it's not a fact of pushing him off of stronger junglers. I just think you leave the OPs open, possibly even looks like ATS will be on the red side for game 2. So it looks like Gold and Silver should try to leave the Seraphine, some of the stronger picks open, because the red side is going to be forced to either ban the Udyr or ban the Seraphine, right? Or ban both. And that means they can pick up maybe a Rel, rotate Rel first, or maybe get a really strong top laner like Renekton. What can you really take away from a game like this? I think it's, understanding where you're strong, understanding that, where my lanes have prio. I think that's what they need to do, because those early fights where Jarvan or who knows, we don't know who's making the call for these crabs. We don't know who's making the call for these objectives, but I assume it's the jungler in this case that's calling his team saying, hey guys, I need you. I need to take this crab. I'm not trying to get, double crab. I don't want to be 3 levels behind Diana. Or I don't want to be 2 levels behind. But really, like you mentioned, they should have just been trying to scale up. I mean, they had the kills onto Corki and Kai'Sa, and if they just let the laning phases go out, concede the first 2 drags, give the Herald, I think it's fine. Swap the lanes, maybe take Gnar on the bottom lane and then just send their bottom lane top so they can farm freely. Unfortunately they couldn't do that. They opted into a lot of fights and they kind of just got shredded. They put through the meat grinder. unfortunately.
Yeah, but
And
we will talk about this game a little bit more as we're going to head to a short break, and we'll be back for game 2 of Apes Together Strong versus Gold and Silver, and you're not going to want to miss it.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere, I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have returned. We are here with Pro Draft. It's going to be very, very exciting as we are going to see some bands come out. It's going to be Seraphine, Thresh, and Udyr. It's going to be ATS and then Gold and Silver, respectively. So,
Yeah.
Together Strong got rid of the Seraphine. Definitely a champion that Afro Samurai plays a lot. His most played champion. Not surprised to see that go. And Gold and Silver has been a little bit scarred from I Love Canada's last game, so they opted to go with Thresh. and then more jungle bans going out, and then a big Sivir ban. I think it's a very wise ban. I think Sivir would be a very strong champion for Team Gold and Silver to play. Your thoughts?
I really don't like these two jungle bans. I don't like the Udyr ban. You generally want to force ATS to ban both Udyr and Seraphine, right? Because then blue side gets first pick, but they're just gonna first pick the Vi, which I don't really like. There's so many strong junglers out right now, right? They didn't even ban the Lilia. They didn't even ban the Dr. Mundo, the Jarvan, maybe even, although it wasn't that strong showing last. And yeah, ATS just rotates Gnar Rel. Like, I don't understand Gold and Silver's prioritization here. Like,
Oh my!
if you're gonna first pick a jungler, you should just force red side to ban the most OP ones, right? You generally have to force red side to ban 1 to 2 OPs. In this case, Seraphine and Skarner and Sivir aren't OP. Those are most likely, sort of target bans. I mean, Skarner has seen some pro play for sure, but I don't think he's like OP comparatively to Udyr and Hecarim. Definitely, I think the Thresh ban is worthy, but I think you ban Thresh and now you give ATS Rel, which is equally devastating champion, right?
I love Canada. Their last game versus Orbital Gaming Horizon, I should say. Played 3 games, played Thresh, and then played Rel twice, and went 0-0-17 on Rel. So very interesting that they gave away Rel to I Love Canada, who has apparently been very, very good on the champion. Gold and Silver, I already don't like their team. I think they got baited into picking the Vi because, like I discussed with you in the break, I think that Gold and Silver, it would have been much better for them if they had picked a team fight composition. And Vi Brand Tristana is not exactly, doesn't scream team fight to me.
Yeah, it screams pick, right? It screams, let me get one person.
It's a pick up, yeah.
I mean, Brand has the ultimate. Yeah, Brand has the ultimate, has the balancing that he can do, but Tristana and Vi are just kind of like, let me get my bomb on you, let me Q you, and let me R you, and let me see if we can just burst you down really quickly. Well, ATS looks to, they're going to take the Gnar, they're going to actually take it first round. I'm still on the side. Gnar is a hot contention, right? It's a hotbed, right? Because you have a lot of people on one side saying Gnar is OP, he's busted, he's really good. And you have another side, which I think I'm on that side, is I don't think actually Gnar is that good. Gnar requires the other team to play bad for it to work and look really good, right? And
see, I disagree with that. I disagree. Oh, okay. And here's why. So we also had a short discussion about this during one of the other breaks as well, is that Gnar, it's really on the player and the team and how good they are at their macro and their wave management to use Gnar's fullest potential. Because you obviously have to get the Rage Bar, and you want to stack that up very, very close to full just off of the minions, so you can, land one auto attack in a fight, you can leap in, throw a Q, and then all of a sudden you've gone mega, you're ready to go, you're in there, and you're smacking people up against walls. So it really has a lot to do with the player. So I do think that it's a pretty good pick in this particular situation. The Sneaky Mouse, through their trading earlier on Orange, showed that they're a very capable Ornn player, and it seems like they're a very capable macro player as a whole as well. So I think it's a fine pick up here, especially with you've got the Rel, you've got the Cassiopeia. Like this is the team fight comp that I wanted Gold and Silver to pick.
Yeah, and honestly, Jhin is such a good pick here. We generally like to think of Jhin as kind of like a high damage, right? He has that 4th shot and stuff, but he, in some senses, is a utility ADC, right? He can start fights off with his R. He can root people with his W, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he can get things started. He can get jiggy with it. And honestly, it looks like ATS really wants to start fights as soon as possible. I mean, setting up for the Gnar is what they really want to do. locking them down, letting the Gnar get his mega. And honestly, Rel with the Magnet Storm and Cassiopeia, we forget with the I'm blanking out on the name, her W that roots and causes you
Q. Miasma. It's the Miasma.
Yeah, the Miasma that essentially allows you to do nothing. As you see a Zed pick into the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, this is an interesting team. And I have many problems with it because the Malphite just doesn't really fit into this composition. At least I don't think
it screams team fight, right? Malphite screams team fight.
And yeah, sure, Malphite is a great champion.
Show jungle? Oh no way.
What is going on? I am so confused.
This is beautiful. So Cho recently got buffed. Yeah, back to the Malphite.
I think it's okay because I really think that any team can function well if you have a Malphite. But I mean, this isn't the kind of tank that, like, true tank I would want to see. If you've got like an off tank that's a little bit tankier than Vi, because sometimes people just build full damage Vi for some reason, then I'm okay with it. But because you really don't have an off tank, like Malphite is an ult bot and nothing else. He's got no other CC on any other of his abilities, and that's what I don't like. I think an Ornn here would have been really, really good because you can set up a lot of picks with the Searing Charge and stuff like that, while also having an impactful team fight ultimate. And you don't get that with Malphite. You only get the impactful team fight ultimate, and it doesn't fit into what the comp they have is trying to do. You're trying to fit a rock into a square hole, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, and it looks like Gold and Silver is honestly caught between a rock and a hard place, right? I mean, they're splitting the difference here. They're going, pick, and then they're going team fight, and honestly, splitting the difference is not good. You don't want to be a jack of all trades when it comes to League of Legends team compositions. You want to have cohesiveness. You want to have synergy, right? This Zed and Vi scream, okay, we win the mid 2v2, but what do we do after that? Zed's gonna have to split, and Vi's gonna have to shadow this Zed to get any kills. But then what do the other three do? What did Tristana, Brand, and Malphite do? They can't 1-3-1, right? Because it's Vi and Zed shadowing. So they're going to split the lanes 3-2, lose a lane of farm. Even if they do get, let's say Malphite gets a really big ulti, what is the follow-up? The Brand and maybe Tristana AoE? You look at Apes Together strong draft, right? If I'm correct, this Cho'Gath will be going most likely into the jungle. It looks like it's obviously going to be in Nar top. And Cho'Gath recently got some buffs, and I think he's a really good. If they're going this AP Cho, which I doubt we'll see, but he's probably going to go tank Cho with Chemtech. But if we do see the AP Cho with the Everfrost, Cosmic Drive, this kind of build where he's he'll stick onto you. He doesn't need to land his Q raw. He can just Everfrost you, slow you down, silence you, E you, and then land his Q later, and then he becomes a really big
such a low cooldown too.
Yeah, and the cast time got reduced. It got buffed. I think it's a viable choice on Cho'Gath, but we'll most likely see full tank Cho. And they don't really have a lot of shred, right? Brand's the only one that can do some innate % health damage, right? Tristana doesn't go Bork. Vi doesn't go really Bork. She has the W stacks, but is she really going to be able to get all of them off on Cho consistently? I doubt it, right? So and Cho really counters Zed, right? The moment Zed R's in, that's a silence. Right.
Yeah.
The moment Vi R's in, that's a silence. And now
it's a knockup too. It's an Everfrost. If they're going to build Everfrost, there's so many issues with it. Zed is so liable to take any sort of damage. It could be a Jhin root too if you time it properly. Because you're going in like that, you're going to incidentally get hit by an auto attack or something like that in most cases, or one stray ability before you use the death mark. The first part of the death mark where he goes untargetable. So then, as soon as he lands, if that's timed properly, like, he just get rooted. All of a sudden, he's not able to stick on his target, do any damage or anything like that. Definitely some big issues here. He's going to have trouble killing Cho'Gath. He's going to have trouble killing Rel. Probably going to have some trouble killing Gnar. Sure, you can assassinate Cassiopeia and Jhin pretty easily, but I do think that the rest of the team that Apes Together Strong has picked will kind of be able to defend their carries by pushing forward instead of providing a solid defense for them, if that makes sense. Because typically you have your champions like your Jins of the world and Ashes to a certain extent as well, where they do their best work when they are pushing forward in a team fight, and usually that happens when your team's obviously winning the fight. Because it's a little bit harder to kite on those champions as effectively. Maybe not so much Ashe as it is Jhin, but obviously the best defense in League of Legends seems to be a great offense. If your tanks are pushing forward and dealing a lot of damage, it generally means that the Zeds of the world are not on top of you.
Yeah, that's true. And the zoning from this Gnar and Cho'Gath is gonna be huge, right? Just the amount, and then the Rel pulling the Magnet Storm. I mean, there's so much. There's a lot of good self peel. There's a lot of good peel on this team, and there's. I think the only issue that ATS will have is properly engaging, getting an easy engage, right? It has to be the Flash, Rel, and Magnet Storm, and that's pretty much it. You're not gonna get a Flash knockup on Cho'Gath. I mean, you can try. You can try to go for the Flash Gnar, but even then, don't be expecting that. If Gold and Silver can play around the engage timings properly, I think they have a chance of really, kind of getting this one out, because Cassiopeia, you can't really stop. I believe Vi is unstoppable in her R.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we will have to we'll find out what's going on very shortly, as we will head to a short break before we get us loaded into the game. So don't go anywhere, because this game is going to be bloody.
Yeah, for sure.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Running low, keep running. I'm running low, keep running. Like an outlaw on the run. Dangerous, but it's so fun. Running low, keep running. I'm running low, keep running. Like an outlaw on the run. This is dangerous, but it's so fun. Run, run, run. Dangerous, dangerous. Run, run, run. Dangerous, dangerous. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running.
a brand. I mean, all this kind of stuff. So maybe he's channeling his skills as we see
For the
some
big
aggression.
engage, Afro Samurai has been cut off from Zeki. Afro Samurai does get stunned up. The ignite is on. The flash is out though. He's going to burn away ever so slightly, but he will be a-okay from that one. But a very good early trade from the side of Apes Together Strong's bot lane.
Yeah, really good stuff. I mean, honestly, just kind of a standard aggression that we've been seeing. I want to see what happens in the jungle when they get to this crab. I think it'll be really interesting how the fight goes out, which lane has prio, and all that stuff. So we'll really see what's gonna happen here.
Strong in a lot of trouble.
Oh.
Whoa, great sidestep there, but is ignited, is burning away, is going to flash over the wall, and Bambi Unleashed is going to find first blood. Me, Bush Boy is going to flash on top of Bambi Unleashed and is going to get a kill there. And now Bush Boy has to kite up towards Sneaky Mouse, but Kung Fu Dugong will get the kill. Sneaky Mouse not close enough to do anything to the Vi, and now a potential pincer there, but looks like Cho'Gath will get out. The bot lane, though, it is still all Team Apes Together Strong here. Up 8
Yeah, and we just kind of see the oppressiveness that Rel has, right? Like Tristana Brand can't really walk up. Like she's just gonna unmount, dismount, and just kind of pull you over. And they had to trade so many summoners, right? Tristana no heal, Brand no flash, and all. What did they trade on the other side? Rel no flash and ignite. She has Hex Flash. That thing's gonna be up again. She gets bush control. It's kind of done. As we see Gnar kind of pathing towards the bottom.
Strong is about to be done as well. Kung Fu Dugong doing a great job of holding the Q just to make sure that, you know, Strong would only be able to kite back toward the opposite side of the map. Nothing doing there. That is another big kill in the mid lane. Strong having a bit of a rough time early on.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew this was going to happen with the immobile pick. We thought he could kind of hold it out. You know, maybe I would have liked to see a barrier here, but I think he just values the teleport way too much. A lot of burst, and maybe the barrier doesn't even help, right? With so much burst on the Vi and the Zed, as we see. Just kind of some trading back and forth. And as we're going to get into a pause here very shortly, but we'll get right back into the action as soon as we get out of it. So stick around, stay tuned. Jungle Gnar, baby, Jungle Gnar.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life? You know it's hard to survive. A cigar in my mouth. Maybe guilty but proud. Now I'm an outlaw on the run. Dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back into the action. Do apologize for that brief pause, but we are here for it, and so is Sneaky Mouse as he is trying to get some damage onto Indigno. And it looks like they've spotted out the Vi. Here she comes. And even Steven's going to land a big flash there. I Love Canada's got to try to get out, but he's ticking
Super
away ever so
tanky.
slowly.
Super
The
tanky.
rocket jump is there. That's going to be a big kill for Zeki. And it looks like Gold and Silver, they're bringing it this game too.
Yeah, this they got a 1.1 gold lead, but do remember that last game they did bring it too. They had a small gold lead and they started throwing it away after the macro decisions started coming in. But it looks like Kung Fu Dudong is a lot more practice on this Vi, a lot more comfortable, understands the gank patterns. But honestly, I think ATS is kind of flexing with this jungle Gnar pick. Not too useful, only having 1 kill right now. Looking to counter jungle, but we see Malphite trying to say, "Hey, get out of my jungle."
Yeah, me Bush Boy is going to take this fight, and he is very small, and he has taken a lot of damage. As is Strong, this mid lane has gone way differently than I anticipated. And the first dragon of the game going over to Team Gold and Silver. That is going to be the Mountain Drake for the first one.
Yeah,
Looks like
really
the
good.
second Drake's going to be Infernal, so we either got an Ocean Soul or we got a Wind Soul. And let me tell you, Ocean Soul would be really good in this game.
I mean, Cloud Soul would be really good too, right? Can you imagine
yeah.
how fast Zed would be going? I mean, the follow-up on Malphite, he can reach the backline and ult. I mean, Cloud Soul is really good for a lot of these guys. Tristana gets faster, right? Obviously, Ocean Drake is superior regardless, but Cloud Soul ain't no slouch. It ain't no slouch. It's very good stuff still.
It's really good in certain team comps.
Yeah.
This team composition for Apes Together Strong would really enjoy themselves a Cloud Soul, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? The
Cho'Gath
Gnar.
doesn't really benefit from it too much, but everybody else seems to, except for Jin. Jin obviously doesn't.
Well,
it helps
the
him. The fourth shot helps him catch up, right? Is it on cast or is it on activation?
I
Because
believe it's
if
on.
it's
I believe it's on cast immediately.
okay,
so
so if it's
right
on
when the
cast,
ultimate-
he's not going to get it. Yeah, so it's not good for him, but it's really good for Cassiopeia, really good for Gnar, really good for Rel.
yeah,
so,
all of
you're
them,
pretty happy
phenomenal
with it.
stuff.
Me Bush Boy looking to hang around the area, potentially ready for Bambi Unleashed to try to make a play onto Strong, but Bambi Unleashed being very stout in their gameplay, very safe, very smart, not falling into the trap.
Yeah, and we still see a slight camp lead for Gnar. I don't know if it's a level lead that'll translate just because Vi has 2 kills, 2 assists, and then she goes back. She takes her red and recalls. Really inefficient jungle pathing. I wish she would have started from the golems, got her red, and got her raptors, and then maybe back, just so she have a little bit more gold and be more efficient in her jungle clearing. But I guess this game isn't about efficiency right now. It's all about how many ganks she can get off. She's going to be level 6 very soon. She does start the wolves here, but she is wasting her red a bit. So
I mean, you have to realize that this game wasn't going to be about efficiency when they picked Jungle Gnar.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're not looking to min max. They're looking to flex.
They
right?
are 4 fun players right now, baby. More like 4-1 players, am I right? Because they are down 4 kills to 1 early on, and they are only down about 600 gold though. And you take a look at the CS numbers; they're winning in the top lane, they're winning in the bot lane. So this lead is quite negligible.
Yeah, just about even in the mid lane as well. So you really the gold disparity is coming from that jungle gold disparity, right? Vi is about 400 gold up on Gnar, which is kind of
Here comes the
translating.
Vi. Here she comes. Sneaky Mouse getting a big knockup though. They are in hot pursuit. The assault and battery goes down. Sneaky Mouse has nowhere to go. Digno is going to pick up the kill there, and that is another successful gank from Kung Fu Dugong.
Yeah, and Kung Fu Dugong looking like Tom, and Sneaky Mouse looking like Jerry. And honestly, in this event, I think Tom won this time. I think it's really good stuff. I think just honestly, really, really nice play from Vi. I mean, she's really looking for these ganks, utilizing her ulti, using it on
Right in the top
cooldown.
lane, Digno's got just enough mana to unstoppable force over the wall, and we'll get out of there unscathed. Teleport burned by Sneaky Mouse. Pretty good stuff there.
Yeah,
Let's
and
say
now
they're going to burn a key teleport.
Yeah, now Gold and Silver have the TP advantage. So when this dragon, which is coming up in about a minute and a half, as they can get some control wards down, some flank wards down. I mean, a flanking Malphite is devastating to any team comp, right? It'll shred. It'll just getting a 5-man, a 4-man knockup, especially with the
Here's the
lead
teleport in
that-
the top lane. The Malphite, he's coming in.
Oh, he's coming in the back. Oh,
Yeah, they're going after him. They
Cho'Gath
are
burns
going
the
after
flash.
Cho'Gath, yeah. He will get out of there, though. It was pretty solid stuff there. Great job using the rupture to his advantage to get off any melee champions and get him out of there. But that is a flash burn. Teleport burn for Digno as well, so they do lose the teleport advantage.
Yeah.
I
Cast the
think they're a
curse.
little ill-advised. They tried a little bit too hard to make that play work. And Strong with a very wise flash there to avoid the Vault Breaker.
Yeah, and Vi trades Flash on Cassiopeia, and that's a good trade, right? Cassiopeia Flash is way more valuable than Vi's Flash, in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah,
right?
oh yeah, no question.
You see some trading in the top lane, a little bit of a wet noodle fight. These guys are just kind of like, hitting each other, slapping each other around. Oh,
We're gonna
Digno getting low.
fight in the bot lane real quick. That's a great engagement from I Love Canada. They've been rooted up. Afro Samurai, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Is going to manage to flash out of the Wrath of the Jin 4 shots there. As Digno is finding a chase onto Sneaky Mouse. Sneaky Mouse very low on mana. Sneaky Mouse getting Digno very low in the bot lane. Me Bush Boy has joined the fray. Here comes Vias, hopped onto Even Stevens. Whoa, great buster shot there. Will knock away the Rel. Now Afro Samurai, though, he's very low. He gets healed up with a great flash from Me Bush Boy. That's going to be a kill. Now Zed has joined the party. He's going to get a free kill there. Zeki is going to hop over the wall. Kung Fu Dugong, though, going down. I Love Canada trying to keep Zeki out of the fight, but he's got to worry about Bambi Unleashed. The heal burn from Even Steven. Here's the death mark. I Love Canada. See you later. Strong has joined the party as well, and now they've set their sights on the Bambi Unleashed. Bambi Unleashed gets shut down, a big kill going over to Even Steven, and what a chaotic fight. But overall, it ends up being a 3-for-2 in favor of Team Apes Together Strong. An unstoppable force from Digno. Sneaky Mouse taking some turret shots, tries to land a knockup, but he goes down as well. That is another kill. This time, it's for gold and silver, but they will lose the dragon. So overall, you get more damage if you're on the side of Apes Together Strong, and you like to see that. And as we were talking about earlier, it does turn out to be a Cloud Drake as the soul of choice for Game 2.
Yeah, this ultimate cooldown reduction is also really good, right? Whoever gets these Cloud Drakes, they're gonna get 3 Cloud Drakes. That's 30%. That's 30, percent cooldown reduction, or about, I believe it's 12 ultimate ability haste is what it's called now, and that's really good, right? Digno can really go for this kind of high CDR Malphite ult build. I mean, it's really good on every single one of them, right? It's kind of insane, right? Everybody needs their ultimate, and getting their ultimates up faster means more picks. It means more team fights. It means more, just ability to control and dictate the flow of the game. Really good stuff. As we see the gold lead kind of even out, I think that 400 gold lead is still there. It was even right before Malphite kind of solo killed top lane, got the solo bolo onto him. As we see the itemization coming out, it looks like a Sunfire Aegis on Malphite's side. Vi yet to finish an item. Looks like she's going for the Triforce instead of the more defensive option of the Divine Thunderer.
Full damage Vi. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
Yeah?
I hate full damage Vi. With a burning fiery passion of 1,000 suns, and so much that I had to cut you off for it. They
Oh, no, go ahead.
in the bot lane, and it looks like they're going to get some nice gold out of it. Kung Fu Dugong getting 160 gold, plus 50 for the turret going down as well. Meanwhile, in the top lane, these wet noodles, they're like heavily waterlogged thick noodles, because they do some damage.
They're al dente. They're al dente.
Al dente. Well, you can't be a wet al dente noodle, right?
I mean, when they come out of the pasta, they're al dente, right? They're kind of wet still. They got some starchy pasta water. Make some carbonara with them. I think it's pretty good.
Pasta water.
Yeah, pasta water. Hey, it's not hot dog water, okay? Don't get it mistaken.
Here comes Bambi Unleashed, a good engagement from Digno onto Sneaky Mouse, and now here comes the 1v1, but it's not going to be a 1v1 for too much longer. Digno is getting lower and lower, and it looks like Sneaky Mouse knows that he's got to fight it. Here comes the death mark, a nice flash from Digno, and Sneaky Mouse is going to go down. A big kill there, Bambi Unleashed. That's the 4th kill of the game for this mid laner. Went toe-to-toe with Strong, absolutely destroyed him 1v1. Strong doing a good job to hang on and farm, but Bambi Unleashed, the map is their oyster right now. They're making plays in the top lane. They're making plays in the bot lane. If they had the opportunity to be making plays in other games as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's really, really, really a resurgence from Gold and Silver. Like, we were just roasting them for this composition. We said it was hard to execute. It wasn't a team fight comp, but I honestly, as much as we like to say that, it's Apes Together Strong flexing, they are being out macroed. It doesn't matter at this point.
It's because
Nara is level 9.
The apes are separate right now.
Yeah,
The
they
Apes,
aren't together. That is
it's in
true.
the name. It's in the name. They do need to group up and make something happen with this great team fight opportunities they have. The one saving grace for Apes Together Strong is that Jin is currently 3-0, absolutely massive right now. So
Yeah,
it's
really
going to be
big.
on him. They're going to have to do a really good job of protecting even Steven from the wrath of Kung Fu Dugong.
You see a little
From
bit
the
of
wrath of Bambi
trickery.
Unleashed, and they are going to try to put a play on, but he is going to use his shadow to get out of there pretty easily. No issues had there.
As we see some more al dente noodles fighting. Really, it's very riveting stuff up here. Uh,
Yeah, not too much damage. You couldn't put a dente in him if you tried.
yeah, it's true.
But
As we see the
more
Rift Herald coming up, it looks like they're gonna want to squab for this one. I mean, you notice that ATS really kind of wants to get this 5v5 in as Nar's backing. Remember, this Nar don't got TP. It's a jungle Nar.
Are they going to
Um,
give this?
I
It
think
looks
they
like
just concede it.
they are going to concede it, but I don't think that Gold and Silver knows that two members just backed. You see, they did shift the Jin from the bot lane to the mid lane because they are preparing for this fight. They know the Dragon's coming up soon as well. The pings have gone out, and it looks like Team Gold and Silver is on this Rift Herald doing a very good job of prioritizing the neutral objectives on the map. They have really come to play in this game, and I really like what I'm seeing out of them.
Yeah, it's really good. And we see, Apes Together Strong backing because they're hitting these item breakpoints, right?
Sure.
Cho has the Frostborn. Nar
gonna
has
get
the
the
Sunfire Aegis. I think they're just going to give the Dragon. I
Yeah.
think Gold and Silver don't really prioritize the Cloud Drake, which is honestly fine. I would have liked it, honestly, to go down on the mid lane, though, and just look to Siege as 5. Tristan, a really good Siege, really good turret breaking.
Right.
Opening up the top tier 2 doesn't really do much. As you see a
Teleport
TP
from
down in the bot
yeah.
lane.
Yeah, Bambi Unleashed is around here, but that is a huge whiff, and then he's going to get stunned up, rooted up. He's got nowhere to go. Digno, I don't know what you tried to pull there, but you are losing your life for it. Down he goes. Bambi Unleashed looks like he's going to try to get with the rest of the team here, as this is a 5v4. He's going to try to find an engagement onto Even Steven, but he was lined up right against the wall. Big knockback from me, Bush Boy. Now Zeki, very, very low, has to burn his flash. Afro Samurai will flash over the wall. The fourth shot does miss, but Vi has nowhere to go now.
Oh,
The
my.
root follow-up and Afro Samurai is being chased down, but that is a big fight win for the side of Apes Together Strong. The Apes were together. They defended the Even Steven. They realized that he was their win condition in that fight, did a great job of protecting him against the Zed, and they won the fight for it.
And you have to wonder what the call was on Gold and Silver side, right? Malphite TPing in, like, what is he doing?
And then
No
with the
follow-up from his
ultimate-
team. Yeah, I mean,
Right
is it even worth Jin no flash, right? Maybe we'll see next fight if that is really worth. Zed
Yeah.
trying to go in for the dive, doesn't see that Nar is Mega Nar, and honestly just gets stunned up, dies, pays for it, and now his team gets baited.
Yeah,
And
there
this
was-
gold lead that we saw Gold and Silver have has kind of, it's gone, it's short up. It's a
it's- yeah.
500, 300 gold lead at most, right?
It's still around the area of what it really was, and they took two towers up top, and that's why at first the gold was so slanted in their favor. But after losing that fight, they got no progress, and the problem that they have now is because they dropped the Herald in the top lane. You're stretching the map for the Dragon, but you just gave up the second Dragon, so now you lose a lot of ability to kind of stretch the map. And later on in the game, when the Baron becomes more important, somebody's just going to be in top lane is going to be ready to respond as we see a fight breaking out here, but it looks like everybody will be A-okay. I would have liked that Rift Herald in the bot lane for sure, because it would have given them dragon control, and it would have allowed them to break down the bot lane and then be able to stretch the map later on in the game. So I just think that they went for the gold cash grab, and then they immediately lost it in the ensuing fight, and this, I think, is going to be the real big turning point of the game.
Yeah, and it looks like if Gold and Silver does, it'll be that decision to use the Rift Herald top to send the Malphite bot with a TP trying to kill the Jhin. I think they could have just, they wanted their cake and they wanted to eat it as well. I don't think that's what could have happened. I think Jhin had flash. They need to be timing this kind of stuff. Jhin also has the Gale Force, so I mean he's going to be able to get out of there really quickly. I mean he essentially has a dash, a flash. He has all this peel. I mean, what does Malphite do when he even? What would have happened even if he got the stun, right? Like the whole team was there.
And Malphite, speaking of him, is on the other side of the map now and does not have teleport. So this could be pretty contentious here as Apes Together Strong. They have the whole world in their hands right now.
Yeah.
The problem is it's going to be hard to match Bambi Unleashed. Strong does have the Zonias. but I feel like could still lose any potential fight at any time. However, since they have these top turrets down, I would think that as the next dragon's going to spawn in about 3 minutes, they should probably try to send Zed top lane, as me Bush Boy has now come alive in this game and is beginning to make plays. Does take the red buff, does burn the ultimate for it, but you don't really care at that point.
Yeah, and ATS is really just content on letting the waves come to them, farming, pushing up. They will outscale gold and silver, right? You know, they have the Cassiopeia, they have the Cho'Gath. I mean, the really only hard scaling pick that gold and silver has is that sort of Tristana. Once she gets to that 5-6 items max level with her range, I mean, Malphite's just gonna get tankier, I guess. And Vi, use like you said, mentioned full damage. Vi doesn't scale that well. She only has one mode, and it's go in and then die. Right? She has to trade her life 1-for-1. Zed will start to fall off as we see more defensive items picked up. Jhin may pick up. It looks like he already has the stopwatch in his inventory. He probably will pick up.
Smart pick up.
Yeah, and it looks like he's gonna go into the Guardian Angel most likely after his second or third item, which would be a really good on his side. He can survive any burst, and you know he's gonna get up, and his team can help him revive as well. As we see, there's a lot of ill-advised Guardian Angels being bought, and you know, like as we see Shadow getting messed up.
Let's try.
Yeah, I mean, good effort. Yeah, A for effort. But yeah, sometimes Guardian Angels aren't really the right play if your team can't protect you while you're reviving, right? It's no point. It's kind of like a Zillion R,
Right.
in that sense. So they really need to. But I mean, this team is more than enough equipped, right? You have the Rel, the silence from Cho'Gath, as we mentioned, a potential Mega Gnar, and just a Miasma as well, just really slowing people down and not letting them get to Jhin. As we see aggression.
The wall, and he interrupted the rocket jump, and Zeki gets blown up by the combined might of Apes Together Strong. That was a really well-timed Gnar ultimate out of me, Bush Boy, and it looks like Team Apes Together Strong looks like they'll try to take some control of the bottom side of the map as this Drake is spawning in about a minute. Me, Bush Boy, though, he is in a rough spot there and
The
gets
man just wanted some KFC. Wanted some KFC.
He wanted the fried chickens, but he was the one that was fried by the brand of the kill, going over to Bambi Unleashed. And now the plan that Apes Together Strong had, they got to put it on pause.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon is coming up. We see some pings going down into the mid lane, into the Dragon. Gold and Silver does have the vision set up, so they can choke the vision out. They can look for a pick, you know, force the Rel to face check, maybe force the Cho'Gath to face check and kind of try to, you know, burn him out, you know, chunk him out. And, you know, you don't have to kill somebody to win the objective fight, right? If you can get somebody a half health, force them to back, force the TP, you can start that Dragon in that small little window. And in coordinated play like this, it's entirely possible, right? It's entirely possible. As we see them posturing for drag, and honestly, both teams are very content on giving the dragons away. They don't have the positioning on it, and you know, you just concede Cloud Drakes. I think that's the move here. You slow the game down.
I saw a ping go down onto Baron. Are they trying to go for it? No, it doesn't look like it. So the Dragon going over to Gold and Silver. 2 Drakes apiece for both of these squads. Interested to see where the next fight is going to break out of, as it looks like the next fight could be right around the corner as me, Bush Boy, is ready to go Mega Gnar. He just has to try to find a way to get in there. Here comes the Jhin ultimate. He's going to land a shot on Afro Samurai, and he is getting very low, and he is going to get pushed away, misses the ult. However, the team fight is so split. Strong gets Afro Samurai down. On the back line, it's Bambi Unleashed. Even Steven had gone golden, and the Unstoppable Force could not hit him because of it. There's kills going around everywhere. It's a 3-for-1 right now in favor of Apes Together Strong. Bambi Unleashed is going to peel out of there. Zeki as well. And now Bambi Unleashed, he's going to try to go in, but he ran into 5 members of the enemy team. And look at the size of those chompas on Sneaky Mouse as he devours Bambi Unleashed. That is going to be a 4-for-1, and they've got their eyes set on the Baron.
And Bambi Unleashed looking like Bambi's mother, just a little bit dead as we see them going to the Baron, you know, getting this power play, swinging the momentum in their favor. Apes Together Strong, you know, bit of a flex, but really just showing how strong their macro play is. It looks like this team understands what they need to do. They understand their win conditions. They understand who to play around, which is very good here, right? We saw Gold and Silver have the lead, start very, very strong. But
this is the problem. People are going to die here. As Kung Fu Dugong is found onto Even Steven. Even Steven's got nowhere to go, but
he's hiding in the pit.
He's doing a great job there trying to get out of there. Zeki hopped over the wall, but the miasma went down and they had nowhere to jump out to. And that is a very ill-advised fight more kills going over to Apes Together Strong. While even Steven did fall, the rest of his team was there to back him up. And that is just more gold going over to Apes Together Strong. And now it's me, Bushboy, versus Bambi Unleashed. Bambi Unleashed, he is going to have to get out of there very quickly to have the red buff on him. It looks like he's going to try to die for this. Nice dodge there with the death mark. And me, Bushboy, is in a lot of trouble and will die to the death mark. Very greedy. Very
Super greedy. Wants the blue buff. Saw the Zed. Wanted the Zed. Saw the tower. Looked like he wanted a piece of the tower as well as he threw the house into there. But honestly pays for it with his life. But really not a big deal here, right? Only loses one Baron. The rest of the team, kind of gets out. I mean, Jin was gonna die, so he just tried to do as much damage as he could in that little.
He did, and he killed the Vi. He got the Vi with the fourth shot, and then snared the Malphite, and that forced Zeki to jump over the wall. And then when Zeki jumped over the wall, Cassiopeia put the miasma down, so Zeki couldn't get out.
Yeah, very good layering of CC.
That Even Steven is the best AD carry I've ever seen, but I haven't seen Even Steven and Uzi in the same room before.
That's true. You also haven't seen, Faker and Bambi Unleashed in the same room, so you never know.
Well,
I mean, as we see that's
a great ultimate out of the Malphite. It's a two-man knockup, but it's on some of the tankiest members of the team. The ultimates are going down. Strong doing a very good job of getting a lot of damage out. Sneaky Mouse is going to get another big Devour kill. The 4 shots out of Jin doing a lot of damage. Big knockup onto Zeki, but overall it ends up being a 2-for-1 in favor of Apes Together Strong. And again, the fights are just going the way of the stronger team right now. Gold and Silver had a couple of miscues during their earlier play, and they are now behind the 8 ball, and this is where the comp begins to fall apart.
Yeah, the pick comp, right? The go-in comp, the press R comp. Well, who are you going to press R on when you're just getting silenced, you're getting slowed, as we see? This guy might have to pay for his life. Yeah, the coral reefs are endangered. The coral reefs are endangered. That guy's dead.
The coral reefs are definitely endangered if you threw a house at them.
Yeah.
Looks like this one's going to be all Apes Together Strong, as it looks like they will keep the Baron on the minions enough to get the inhibitor. Trying to find Strong there. Zeki will rocket jump over the wall. Me, Bushboy, though, was ready. And Zeki will end up backing off. So it's just all Apes Together Strong at this point.
Yep, we see pings going off to the dragon coming up in 50 seconds. And I honestly think, Gold and Silver should just be looked to try to get this Tristana, feed her as much farm as possible. She is your win condition. Getting gold onto this Malphite is not, beneficial. Getting gold onto this full damage Vi that you so vehemently hate, and I can see why now, is not useful.
You'd much rather have a tank in this scenario.
I mean, yeah, you would rather have a tank, right? Getting the CC off. As you see, a Griselda's revenge on Zed, and it's honestly a very
Sorelda's grudge.
Sorelda's got. Did I say Griselda's revenge? Who's Griselda?
Yes, I think some sort of witch or wizard or something like that.
It must be an ex of mine. I'm not really sure.
Sorelda's grudge. It is the essentially the former Iceborne Gauntlet for melee champions. This is a pretty good engagement from Vi. I Love Canada is going to grab 2 people and put them together. But I Love Canada goes down. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, that's all she wrote for Digno as well. That's a kill over to Strong. So it's a 1-for-1 overall. But they've taken out a stronger member of Team Gold and Silver. Bambi Unleashed is just going for it and gets absolutely blown up. Even Steven gets killed. Traded over as well. Me, Bushboy, is going to clean this up. Strong with beautiful kiting, and he is way too strong at this point in the game. Goes Golden Stake, Golden Pony Boy, getting another big kill there. Another huge fight win. The 3rd Drake of the game for Team Apes Together Strong. And
they look like they can go for the end.
To the base.
Yeah, it looks like they can go for the end. At least Gnar is trying to go to it.
Just TP.
Yeah, I don't know. Malphite's going to be up. It looks like they're just going to play it safe. They don't want to get killed by this really tanky coral reef Malphite over here. I mean, their team is coming up. I think playing it safe, resetting, getting items back onto your members, I think is really smart. I don't really agree with the decision to flip the Drake there. I don't think you really need to take the fight. I don't think even Cloud Soul, even if they're on Soul Point, is worth it. You just want to try to get as much farm onto Tristana as possible, right? Let her soak up the farm chop, then get her the mid farm, then get her the bot farm. Like, honestly, feed her 3 waves every 30 seconds, and she's going to get to a point where she's going to start bursting out Cho'Gath. She's going to start bursting down this Cassiopeia and Jin, because honestly, she's had some really good pretty good positioning. Not really good, but pretty good positioning as we see some.
Speaking of the Cho'Gath getting chunked out, it's all Zeki there getting some crits down on him. Not much to be had. Look at the damage that Kung Fu Dugong takes because they went full damage Vi, I should say. Zeki getting hit with a lot of shots, and Kung Fu Dugong, you can't fight here. And it looks like this Baron, contest is going to go to the side. Flames together strong, but Digno went for it. They're going to get a kill. That's Zeki. Great Magnet Storm there, getting 3 members of the enemy team. Now it's even Steven. He goes down, but they're fighting in close quarters. It's Strong trying to make plays. Tristana once again leaping into a miasma. You can't get out once you do that. And that is another win for Apes Together Strong. A 4 for 2. The minions are still in the base. Are they going to spot out Digno? Digno will get out without any issues, and it looks like they're not going to go into the base. They will opt for the Baron.
Safe play
there, but can't really do it. Vi had no health because Vi went tank. No full damage.
Vi went damage. Vi went damage. She didn't go tank.
Yeah, didn't go tank. Full damage Vi.
I mean, she has Dirax. I mean, she's got the Merc Treads. That's some beefiness.
So I want to talk about where I think they lost the game. And I'm not trying to say they lost the game because they went full damage Vi. Because it's not necessarily, that would be disingenuous to say that. There was a moment at one of the dragons where they sent Malphite top to push in that top wave. And Apes Together Strong responded by sending Cho'Gath. But then they had Malphite recall when Malphite and Cho'Gath both had TP and sent Malphite to the dragon instead of trying to get a push into the top lane. And that's because they needed a tank for their fight because Kung Fu Dugong wasn't tanky enough to engage onto Strong, Bushboy, even Steven and I Love Canada without dying to their sheer damage.
Yeah, you can also look at the point.
You aren't able to stretch the map like you should be when you have teleports.
Well, we also go back to that play. We also go back to that Herald play, right? Where they had 4 people top. They dropped the Herald, get the 2 turrets up top, but then Malphite TP's bot. Tries to engage on a flash Jhin as we see some aggression in the jungle. Bushboy gets caught out again.
Getting caught. And I mean, at least Vi does provide a lot of damage, but I Love Canada just takes none of it. Sure, I Love Canada's a tank, but I mean,
Israel.
You would expect some damage to be dealt, right?
I mean, it's full damage Vi. I mean, they did catch out Bushboy, but as we were going back to that play, right? That was where it all started. I think that's when that was the turning point. That was where Apes Together Strong was like, oh, they're desperate. They felt some desperate need to try to catch out Jhin because Jhin was like 3-0 or 4-0. Malphite whiffs the ulti. Zed pays for his life. Malphite pays for his life. And I believe Tristana lost her life as well, and Vi. So they ultimately went 4 for 0. And that's where the gold lead kind of evened out, right? It was about 23 to 23.4 to 23.1. And all that gold that they accumulated up top was thrown away in an instant. Kind of like Robin Hood, maybe like Robin Hood just kind of threw it away. He's like, hey, take my gold, take everything.
I don't want to talk about Robin Hood. I had a bad experience once. Anywho, we see Sneaky Mouse. Now, this is exactly what I wanted to see. They are stretching the map utilizing Sneaky Mouse. They do have the teleport. Meanwhile, you can see that Bushboy is going to be tanky once he goes into his rage form as they're going to catch out. Bambi unleashed a beautiful flash from I Love Canada. That's somebody who has played so much Rel. They know exactly what their champion can do. Meanwhile, a mid lane push here for gold and silver, but at this point, Sneaky Mouse is going to be unstoppable. That's a huge wave. They're going to have to send the recalls out, and they do. Digno taking a lot of damage as well from the minions, from the Cho'Gath, and that's going to be the soul for the side of Apes Together Strong. And they did a great job of stretching the map. Now they're going to try to take out this Cho'Gath. The Cho'Gath with a great flash there. Kung Fu Dugong in hot pursuit is going to knock him up. Sneaky Mouse, he takes so much damage, he will go down, but it was all for the cause, as that is the Dragon Soul, the Wind Soul for the side of Apes Together Strong. As we said earlier, that's going to make them Apes Together Strong, I guess.
And I really would have loved to see just kind of Gold and Silver try to go for another turret in the mid lane. They had the push, they had the movement, they had the numbers. They knew Dragon was coming up, so they might have been able to trade another turret for Dragon Soul. I don't think it was really crucial for Cho'Gath to die there, right? They didn't really need to kill him. I don't think he was going to take the inhib turret as much as we want to see that he was. Maybe send one back, but the macro choices in this game have been less than desirable on both ends for sure. I think ATS, getting the better macro on this just because of their experience and their experience as a team and just what their champions can do, right? As we
Right.
see, oh
Whoa.
my
A
god.
lot of things happening. Digno has whiffed another ultimate there. Me, Bush Boy, in hot pursuit. Digno gets knocked into the rest of the team, stunned up. The Rel is in the thick of things. Teleport coming in. That's a massive Cho'Gath, and he is looking for some kills. Knock up. Look at him, Champas once again, getting another kill on the Kung Fu Dugong. That is a 2 for 0. They are in the base. They've knocked out the inhibitor. They have the minions, and I think that this will be the game. Are they going to be able to hold strong? Bambi Unleashed has recalled and is around Zeki, missing a little bit of HP. Bambi Unleashed is looking to try to kill somebody, but he's got no one to kill. He hops onto Bush Boy, but has to flash out.
Oh man,
After
taking so much damage. Justina's in the back line.
Bambi Unleashed is in the thick of things. Tristana, as you said, is on the back line, getting blown up as Afro Samurai. Me, Bush Boy, goes down to the Tristana. The Tristana's not going to push anybody off of their objective. Never mind, I spoke too soon. She goes down as well. Miasma, a Yordle's worst enemy, and that is it. Team Apes Together Strong show that they were the better team here. They take it 2-0.
Yeah, really good showing, right? Really good showing by ATS. Not to take anything away, Gold and Silver looked a lot stronger than game one. Game two was a lot more competitive. They got a lot of early advantages. They did really actually play to their team comp very well for the first, I want to say 20 minutes. But I think, as you mentioned, ATS just has a better team comp overall, more cohesive, more synergistic. All these champions working together, the self peel, the peel for Jin, everything like that. The Rel, especially making a huge difference. Those were 3 4-man magnet storms, right? I don't want to ignore that. Yeah, even Steven looked like the best ADC. He looked really good, but you failed to realize that I Love Canada was behind that. You forgot that this man was hitting every single hook on Thresh. You forgot that this guy's Rel is so insane.
I was
So
insane. They let him have Rel. They let him have Rel. And I mean, the thing I was disappointed by the most is honestly Bambi Unleashed. Bambi Unleashed had such a great early game, but this team comp, the way it was constructed, was not able to take advantage of Zed's superior split pushing power. And then when you take a look at the team comp from top to bottom, who is he killing at the end of the game? He's not killing the Cho'Gath. He can kill the Gnar when the Gnar's in mini form. Like, all right, that's a given. He's not killing Strong because once Strong gets Zonias, and that's a core part of the Cassiopeia build, there's nothing you can do. Even Steven, who did a great job going for the early Zonias, really smart play on them. And then you're not going to blow up a Rel, so you have to split push at the very least. But they never really sent Bambi Unleashed to split push at advantageous times. The one time they sent him to split push was at the end of the game when he had a recall because he was at the bottom inner turret and they were on the Nexus. So
yeah,
there's the stuff that Gold and Silver definitely needs to clean up. They're it's there. Like they have the core concepts and kind of the team
yes.
play is there. You can see it in flashes, but unfortunately, it was just not meant to be against Apes Together Strong. And Digno's got to hop in the practice tool and practice with some of those Malphite ultimates. He did whiff a couple of them.
Yeah, and I think really what teams really need to understand within Ryzen and just understand like what's strong, what's a really good blind, pick up the most OP blindable characters, go into practice. So yes, they get banned and ranked. Man, go into a flex game, go into a normal game, practice the Seraphine, practice the Rel, all these really strong blind champions. And we saw that, Gold and Silver opted to first pick the Vi, which in any draft, I don't care what draft it is, you don't want to first pick a Vi. You want to get,
Yeah,
you
like
wanna
that
get a
was
really strong top laner, really strong jungler. And then, Apes
spicy.
Together Strong knew what was OP. They rotated the Vi, not the Vi, the Rel and the Gnar, which are just really 2 strong picks, right? So I mean, Apes Together Strong knows what they're doing. They know how to draft. They look very strong. Their jungler shined in one game. Their support, to me, honestly, the player of the series is that support. I think he had a phenomenal impact in game one, right? All these
Oh
hooks,
yeah.
the way he was just roaming on the map, and really kind of the unsung hero of game two with the peeling, with the magnet storms, with all these 3 to 4 man magnet storms, just these picks onto the enemy team. I mean, my player of the series was I Love Canada, their support player, but
Yeah,
I want to hear your thoughts.
I Love Canada played so well. I talked about in the first game the roaming potential of the Thresh really was what they needed in order to make the team tick. It was exactly what the doctor ordered. His hooks were great, and then you left him well, where he just went 0-0 and 17 on in 2 games, and then goes 1-4 and 24 in this one. And we saw some great flash attract and repel plays, popping the stun, and it was just a really master class on how to play some really skill intensive champions, and I commend them for it. And I think they're a big reason why Apes Together Strong was able to pull out a victory here.
Yeah, yeah, really good stuff. What does gold and silver take away from this? What does gold and silver take away from this? And from the series, from those 2 games, I said what they need to work on, drafting,
Yeah,
prioritizing really good champions, but
it's got to be this
um,
draft because
gotta be the draft.
I think they went for like comfort picks, but then like they they went for, it looks like they may have went for like comfort picks and then like looked at their team composition and they were like trying to force puzzle pieces together that just don't work. Like you're trying to force pieces from different puzzles together, and it's just not going to work that way because that team comp had absolutely zero cohesion. And I mean, when it comes to playing in 5v5 games, where it's not like you're hopping into flex queue and people are with some buddies or anything like that, the teams play very differently. Typically there are a lot less kills in a game. Like imagine if this was just a random flex queue game, there would be kills everywhere. And even though there were a lot of kills in this game, the number is generally lessened in those kind of environments. And in those kind of environments, those team comps don't necessarily work that well. If they're going to run comps where you're going to run with the teleport malfight and you're going to run with a big split pusher, you got to work on a 1-3-1. You have to keep a cohesive 3-man unit that you can use in order to make the 1-3-1 happen, or just maybe go for a team fight comp like I was wanted to suggest earlier on. They got to pick something and really work on it and really work with it. And it'll take some time. They're 2-2 right now after this loss, but there's still a lot of room for them to improve, and there is quite a bit of season left. So I am holding out hope for them. I do think that they can really rise to the occasion and make some waves as the season tends to go on. But they're gonna need to get some work done. Somebody's gonna have to take a step back. Maybe if they got somebody that they know that can coach them up a little bit, and try to get a team coach and make a real cohesive unit.
Yeah, and I think not to say anything, but Apes Together Strong also has a lot of takeaways, right? I think they can really work on their um macro a little bit more. We did praise them for their well macro play against Golden Silver, but
Yeah.
getting caught out as your jungler, that's
Oof,
detrimental.
that's a no no.
Against better teams, they'll take advantage of that, right? Against
Oh,
better
absolutely.
not being able to put the Cho'Gath up top, not using TP advantage, this kind of stuff. This is, these are textbook mistakes that once you get into the Ryzen playoffs, these are the best teams from this tournament. They're gonna punish that kind of stuff. You get
Right.
caught in their jungle, you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile, right? They won't just concede drags for free. They will scale. They'll understand how to catch waves and scale up and play to win con. So, Apes Together Strong, good showing, very strong. Two semi-dominant performances, really good mid game, but work on getting caught out, work on, not, slipping up, work on your vision control. And I think you guys are going to be a really strong team heading into playoffs within the next couple of weeks. But yeah, really strong stuff from both sides. I think
Entertaining
we're,
games too. And definitely. I had fun.
yeah,
I had fun watching them. I hope everybody at home had fun watching them too. And Apes Together Strong, they're a team I look out for. If they can improve as the season goes on with their macro play, like this is going to be an incredibly scary team.
oh, yeah.
All right, well, that'll be it for us. I do believe you can catch us here next week. There are some open unstoppable games, pre-made unstoppable games, and pre-made dominate games on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of March. You can catch us here at this same Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Ryzen_esports. I won't be there for that one, but I'm sure I'll be in attendance in the chat if anybody wants to talk to me. I'm a cool guy. I hope people like me.
Yeah, Yanni doesn't bite. Yanni doesn't bite
No, no,
from
no. All good.
from what
But
I've heard.
hopefully you will check us out then. But that will be it. Any closing remarks? Any closing thoughts? Any shout outs? Anything like that, Chibi?
No shout outs. I mean, catch Yanni on Twitter. I don't got a Twitter. I really need to make one.
I'm
I don't
sure
know.
they'll drop my Twitter somewhere, or they have earlier in the stream. I don't actually know. But
Yeah.
that will be it for us. I sincerely thank all of the viewers, everybody who put the broadcast together, and the people who run the Ryzen League. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to cast here along with Chibi. And we hope to see you guys again soon. Have a great
Yeah.
night.
See ya.
Be well.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere, I swear.